Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to talk about Sheoldred, the Black Praetor. Now she's got Swamp Walking 6/6, which is awesome. And she, just being puts you up in the game. Now, obviously you get to, at the beginning of your, see, two upsides here. They lose creatures during their upkeep, and you get creatures back during yours. So this is amazing. Now, I guess first we need to roll through the creatures. The first and foremost, my favorite, the creature that popped in my head when I saw Sheoldred for the very first time was the Hell's Caretaker. Now, Hell's Caretaker, you can only do this during your upkeep, but you tap it to trade one of your live guys for one of your dead guys. That being said, I kind of lean toward the Hell's Caretaker with every creature that I chose. Now, comes into play abilities is that's king here because you're going to get them back with Hell's Caretaker and Sheoldred, so you might as well be getting some kind of bonus out of getting this creature, like a Shriekmaw, or a Bone Shredder, or a Necrotol, because all these things kill something when they come into play. Ooh, the Big Game Hunter kills a big thing. The Banshee, hey, just speeds up the game just a little bit. Everybody loses 3. Let's do this. Gravedigger is going to get you back something that you actually want to cast. Blood Artist is, of course, your early play, and this is just beautiful with every aspect of the deck. Fleshbag, insult to injury there. The Sandstone Oracle, because every table has that player, more than likely it's a blue player, that just has that crazy hand. And yeah, you draw a bunch of cards, you know what? I don't care if I can't keep them all. I'll ditch all the dudes and use Sheoldred to play my little shenanigan game. Light of Precinct 6 is going to get bigger just from your opponent's stuff dying, which they're going to do because you've got Sheoldred. The Harvester, you get to draw cards whenever a creature dies. This is awesome. Now, it's non-token, but, hey, it's all good. Now, the Artisan does not work with the Hell's Caretaker. Yeah, I mean, but you got to cast the Artisan in order to get the free creature from the yard. But you know what? In a worst-case scenario, if this is in your yard, it's hard to feel bad about getting a 10-9 Annihilator 2 and not getting that ability when you didn't pay for it. So, another great target. When it dies, you're going to draw and lose. So you draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, you're losing that life. Don't care. Because you're probably just going to gain it back with that guy. The Keening Banshee. We have our favorite Planeswalker killer. And you can sack it and then get it back into play and just keep Atraxa coming for you. Havoc Demon. All creatures. This is beautiful. The Forgotten. I mean, there's nothing to not like about this. It comes into play. It gets all these counters. You don't have to cast it, so you can just Hell's Caretaker it or Sheoldred it into play. The Cairn Wanderer just gets better the more things that die. If they just want to sack a dude to keep you from having a 6/6 flyer, but most of the time, nobody does. So you just get a 4-mana 6/6 flyer. Butcher of Malakir, kind of a natural fit, even though it's, especially if you've got the Caretaker. Oh my gosh. Highway Robber is really good to keep cycling through the Hell's Caretaker. Slum Reaper, is more or less another flesh bag. The Spectre, I mean, each opponent, so this doesn't punish you at all. I mean, wow. Just not even attacking with it, just, bouncing it in and out of play. The Marauder, and the Champion of Stray Souls, rather. Now, let's see here. We've got Unhallowed Pact, because if they've just got the one dude, it's going to be yours when they have to sack it. Liability from Masks. They're just going to lose life. And then, Grave Betrayal. It's an expensive enchantment, but you know what? It is totally worth it. Fated Return. Tragic Slip gets around that nasty indestructible word. Tendrils of Corruption does gain you a little bit of life. We have our black counterspell, Rush of Vitality. This way, because Sheoldred does come with a fairly large target. And people like to kill her. So, hey, I think she'll be indestructible till end of turn. And then Wake the Dead. Now, Wake the Dead, what I really love about Wake the Dead is that you don't have to exile them. You just sacrifice them. So you cast this. Yeah, you can only do it during combat, but you're going to get your however many X, probably 3. This is a decent 5-mana spell. You can generally get 3 out of it or more. You're going to get the creatures back. To get their comes into play effects. And then sack them, getting their leaves play effects. So it works. Smallpox. Keeping everybody in check. Of course, we have our, some mono black stuff like the Corrupt and the Mind Sludge because, hey, I like the discarding thing. More times than not, you just completely demolish somebody's hand. Buried Alive is going to set you up to get absolute value out of your Sheoldred because this is living the dream. Diabolic Tutor and the Collusion, we're going to... now, the Dread Return and the Rise from the Grave, obviously those are includes because, we're putting creatures in the yard. Speaking of putting creatures in the yard, let's put all of them with Crux of Fate, Extinguish All Hope. This is the board wipe section, if you will. And then Living Death. Now, Living Death is very, very iffy, and I may actually take Living Death out. Just simply because they're going to have as many creatures as you do. And, now granted, you're working off of that, but I don't know. Living Death just almost feels like a slot to me that could potentially be something else. Not a whole lot of ramp. We got the Ring, the Chalice, But we got to get stuff dead. Got to get stuff dead. Now, Alter Dementia works. You can sack your dudes to make a mill. Lash Writhe is just going to make something huge. I love the fact that it's more or less 4 life to equip. Or, 2 mana. Claws of Gix is going to get you out of those permanents that you, don't want to stick around for a while and net you some life with the upside of getting that creature in the graveyard so Sheoldred can bring it back for that, comes into play effect. Erratic Portal, pretty much the same thing. You can actually, it's in the deck meant for my own creatures. 1 mana tap, bounce one of my creatures. But in a pinch, I have actually used Erratic Portal on my opponent's creatures when you catch them tapped out. It's great for, you tapped out and you're in mid-combat. Let's put that guy back in your hand. Now, Innocent Blood's going to make us, of course, all sacrifice. Fortuitous Find's going to get back your dude, if you just got to have it. Some of these are not as. There are a lot of great cards that should potentially go in Sheoldred. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but building with what I have. Dregs of Sorrow is dang near a board wipe. I mean, yeah, don't hit black creatures, but man, this is a late game bomb. Shrouded Lore to get back. Yeah, early game it's going to get you back just exactly what you want. But late game, I mean, you can just about trade for any card and be up. Morbid Curiosity. As an additional cost, you got to sack a dude. Hey! And then you draw cards equal to the dude. Hey! Kind of good. Altar's Reap. Sack a dude, draw 2 cards. And I think that's pretty well it for Sheoldred. Let's see if I have any kind of crazy old lands here. I am running like some of the dude lands simply because you can, if you find yourself without a creature for Hell's Caretaker, you can turn the spawning pool into a creature and swap it for your whatever. That was kind of my logic for that one. Or you could just make dudes with your Urza's Factory and swap them out. But that looks like it. Sheoldred is probably not the most broken Sheoldred deck out there because there are lots of good cards. I mean, any card that uses any black card that uses the word dies, sacrifice. I mean, yeah, it's really, really good. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is my Sheoldred deck, and y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.